Now, there might finally be an end to the Elon Musk Twitter saga after months of controversy and multiple questions, or will he, won't he buy the social media giant? The Tesla CEO on Tuesday proposed to buy the company at the originally agreed on price of $44 billion. Now, Musk made the surprise turnaround by writing a letter to Twitter and not by tweeting it out, as has been custom. The letter was later disclosed in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, this comes just ahead of the October 17th trial in Delaware court. Twitter says it intends to close the transaction at the price that they'd earlier agreed on, that's $54.20 per share, but stopped short of mentioning the lawsuit. Now, experts say the social media giant will likely not drop the case in a jiffy until things are finalized, given a lack of trust between the two parties here. Trading in Twitter stock was halted for much of the day pending release of this news. It resumed trading late on Tuesday and saw 22% to close at $52. Now, late on Tuesday, Musk tweeted about the deal, saying that Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. Now, Musk's proposal is the latest twist in a high-profile saga involving the world's richest man and one of the most influential social media platforms. Much of the drama has played out on Twitter itself. With over 100 million followers, Musk said that the company was failing to live up to its potential as a platform for free speech and had too many bots. In May, Musk said the deal was on temporary hold over the bot concerns. Now, on July 8th, Musk moved to terminate the Twitter deal. Soon after, on the 12th of July, Twitter sued Musk to force him to complete this deal. So there might finally be an end to the Elon Musk Twitter saga after months of controversy and multiple questions. Tesla CEO on Tuesday proposed to buy the company at the originally agreed on price, that was $44 billion. For more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen in.
When news broke that Elon Musk was to buy Twitter, after all, two camps immediately formed on the digital public square. Progressives and some government watchdogs who came out and warned that democracy and even upcoming elections may be under threat. After all, a Musk Twitter takeover could lead to former U.S. President Donald Trump coming back on the platform, with one U.S.-based journalist going as far as saying a Musk takeover of Twitter would only, quote, benefit authoritarian governments. But why? Musk is a self-described free speech absolutist. He said that he would want less moderation of content on the platform should he take over. This has been met with a lot of delight and has been a breath of fresh air for those who have criticized Twitter of censorship. For the most part, up to this point, big tech has played along with big government, and Musk has realized that something needs to change in Silicon Valley, and so he decided to do something about it. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION. World is One.
Now, for more on this, we're being joined by Shama Haider, CEO and founder of Zen Media from Miami. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. After months of back and forth, the Twitter saga seems to have come to a conclusion. What can you tell us of the latest in this deal? What do you think led to this U-turn?
So I don't actually think it's as surprising as people seem to think it is. I mean, really, you have a case which, you know, I think Elon Musk, first and foremost, is a business person, and it doesn't serve him to come across as erratic. I mean, it really could hinder future business deals. I think he looked at what was in front of him. I think he listened to his lawyers and decided that it was probably just in his best interest to go through with it, and that maybe, just maybe, the courts would have sided with Twitter anyways. He would have been forced to go through with it. So I think he's just decided that he's going to get ahead of this and do the deal on the original terms that he agreed to. And I think what's going to be interesting is that Twitter may not be so willing. I think Twitter is going to insist that the courts stand by this, make sure that he sees it through so he doesn't get a chance to change his mind again.
All right, so you think he's finally listening to his lawyers. We will come to the lawsuit in just a second, but he's also put out a tweet saying that buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. So what do you make of this?
So I think my understanding is, and I believe this is what Elon Musk wants to do with this in an ideal world. If you look at WeChat, which is way more than a social network, in the US, social media platforms play in the social networking sandbox. Rarely do they cross over, although many are trying. I think that's what Musk really wants to do here with Twitter, which is turn it into a much more comprehensive app for sending payments, for being able to do a lot more than just send tweets. So I think he's starting to see this as, it's the beginning, it's the bones of the platform, but what I think he really wants is to create a WeChat.
All right. So, of course, a few points here. There was concerns of spam accounts, bot accounts. What can you tell us about that? The social media giant will likely not drop this case, as you just mentioned, given the lack of trust between the two parties. So how do you see this panning out going forward?
Look, I mean, if Elon Musk, gets in there, and he's really not someone who likes a lot of management. I think that's why he surrounds himself with a lot of lieutenants. I think he will bring in some people that he does trust, and I do think he wants to address this bot issue. I don't think it's a secret, and I think that's really a key part of all of this is when Elon Musk came out and said, well, there's all these spam bots, we didn't know about it. It's kind of hard to really argue that because it's kind of a common fact that Twitter indeed does have a spam problem, does have a bot problem. Now, how big is that problem? I think that's been up for debate here. So certainly, I think if he comes in, he makes a lot of differences. I think he will come in and make certain changes. He does do things in a very bold fashion, and I think that makes it for an exciting time if you are a Twitter user, if you are a shareholder. And of course, not everybody agrees with his politics. Not everyone's going to agree with everything. But I think certain changes are long overdue. And cleaning up the ecosystem is certainly one of them. So I actually do hope that he comes in and cleans up some of this spam bot issue. I just don't think it's as easy to do as he might have originally thought.
Right, absolutely. Now, going back to a point that you made, do you think Twitter now has leverage in this deal, given the back and forth?
I think they do. I think they do. But I think what they really want is just to see the deal through, right? They accepted the terms. But I think rather than just take Elon Musk's word for it now, they're really going to insist that the courts help see this deal through all the way. And so, yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely been so much back and forth, but you have to hand it to him. I mean, Twitter has been on every media. I mean, the amount of earned media attention, right, that Elon Musk has garnered just through this back and forth. There's a lot to be said about that. I mean, he is a master of PR, of marketing. I mean, this is a smart man. He knows how to get attention. And in this world that we live in, attention is a major form of currency.
All right. Well, Ms. Shamahedda, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast with your insights on this. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.